I listen. I can feel it. I experience it. And I breathe it. This is music to me. And who am I? My name is Nina, and I'm a music lover. And I'm about to take you on a journey into one of the craziest industries in the world. This is Connected by Frequency. Hello music lovers, my name is Nina and I'm inviting you on another journey into the music industry. First, I want to thank you all for the great support on this project. And of course, I need to say thanks to the Infinity Lighthouse team, without who this podcast would not look like this. Love you guys. So today we have another online podcast. These crazy times doesn't allow me to experiment and do this in person that much. However, when you have interesting guests, like my next one is, the place where you are having a conversation is irrelevant. This time I want you to fasten your seatbelts because we are about to speed it up a little bit. Some people would say psytrance is fast. I don't agree. It is just euphoric and makes you dance like crazy. My guest is a well-known DJ and a producer who is opening the door to a new world to psytrance. He is down-to-earth and kind person everyone wants to work with. But before we start, yes, I know you hate this part. I do as well, trust me. But your support is precious if you like me to continue doing this. Please make this easier for me via Patreon or PayPal donations. All the information will be written in the video description and on the Connected by Frequency Facebook page. And subscribe to my YouTube channel. Like and share this video with the world and leave a comment if you want. This is really important and I will much appreciate it. Thank you. If I say Asterix, you will say psytrance. If I say Vini Vici, you will probably say commercial psytrance. But you may get confused when I say my guest's name. Why? Because he's not a typical psytrance producer. He likes to experiment with different melodies and genres. A fusion between psytrance and commercial EDM is usually something you will hear the most in his production. But he is not afraid to combine genres outside electronic music. He has been recognized by big names in the industry and played for massive events worldwide, making him a professional worth promoting everywhere. I will feel free to say he has opened so many doors of big festivals for psytrance music. If you listen to his production, you will not stay indifferent. A few weeks ago, he was performing in Transmission Festival in Prague for the first time. And yes, I was supposed to be there, but new COVID traveling regulations made me cancel everything. But I can definitely say this was the best set of the night. His name is Itay, but we know him as White Noise. And he's here with me to talk about psychedelic side of music scene. Good afternoon, Itay.
Hey, good afternoon.
Thank you for coming to my show.
Thank you so much for bringing me over.
It's nice having you. Yeah, even over the Zoom. Well, the idea was actually to record this interview in a lovely studio in Prague. But instead of that, I need to thank you for accepting my invitation to do this online.
Yeah, nothing will stop us.
Exactly. All right, let's begin. Okay, can you please, for the start, explain and tell us more who actually Itay Eliya is? Psytrance, trance, EDM, DJ, and producer. How do you clarify yourself?
Actually, I'm trying not to clarify myself because what I'm trying to do myself is not to judge whatever kind of music is coming to my mind. I think usually we are the portals, we are the portals for bringing music into the world, and whatever I'm hearing in my head, I'm actually not trying to judge and trying to bring it to my own kind of style. And basically because I love psytrance so much and I love the rhythm and I love the energy, then everything is kind of like in the construct of psytrance, but I'm trying to combine everything that I'm hearing in my head all through one channel that's called White Noise, basically.
That's good, but you're open-minded, so this is something for respect, if you ask me, and not everyone can do that. They're not feeling free, to try new stuff because they think they can be judged for example, by music lovers, for example. Okay, so you're coming from Israel, of course, and of course, Israel is like the sanctuary for psytrance music. So it is not strange that this is the place where you found yourself. But would you mind explaining how the music industry journey started for you? Was it always about psytrance, or it was something else?
Actually, I think at the age of 12, I started to be a DJ.
12.
I think I played with Discmans, in events. Until I think when I was 13, my parents got me my first CDJs for my birthday. And I think at the age of 15, 16, something like that, my good friends, Mahmoudra, that used to live in my city, they helped me to start getting things like getting lessons how to produce music and not only how to DJ. And they really helped me with samples and how to synthesize melodies or samples or whatever I wanted to do. And from there, they used to do psytrance, and I really loved psytrance as well. And we used to go to psytrance parties and festivals as kids. And I just fell in love with this kind of style, and I thought that I could bring something new. Back in that time, I really loved cinematic music, so that's the thing that I used to bring. And now also I bring cinematic music, but it kind of like got evolved and went to the background. And now more big melodies and more vocals came into place in the middle of the mix. So other things went to the side, but still it's the same style and the same things and the same focus I'm working on, just putting them in different places.
Wow. Interesting, for sure. But how did you decide to make that significant change and combine commercial electronic music and psytrance energy?
Actually, it's you actually answered the question. It's the same energy for me.
And more important, to succeed in it.
Actually, when I'm doing music, you never think like you say, okay, I love this song. I think could be a good song. And when you release it, that's it, and you can never know if it's really a good song for other people as well. But you just do what you're trying to do. And answering your question, of course, I think that bringing these commercial things into psytrance was always a passion of mine, to kind of like fuse things. And white noise, for example, the meaning of white noise is all the frequencies together. So I think like when I thought of this name, I also thought that I really want to mix many things, take these kind of genres, put them together and kind of like put them in the software and trying to do something new and create something out of those genres all together. And this is what I came up with, white noise.
Interesting. But I think it is a double-edged sword, because what you're doing is actually a bit tricky and experimental, and not everyone, especially psytrance DJs and producers and also fans, are not approving this style. But correct me if I'm wrong, of course. But on the other hand, of course, you have a fantastic crowd that recognize this as something different in a perfect way, and I'm one of those. But how do you deal with this?
Actually, in my opinion, what I'm trying to do with my music is to just take out whatever I feel good with, without judging what kind of style it is and what kind of people would love that. Because actually, I believe in music, what we're hearing right now, it's what the artists were making maybe a year ago, maybe a year and a half, maybe a few months ago, when they were creating this sound. The music evolving so fast, and if you're trying to create something that is kind of like aligned with the time right now, just imagine that those artists that are releasing the music right now, they did it maybe a year ago, maybe 2 years ago even. So it's not what they're doing right now. And I'm thinking like trying to do whatever you think is right and try to create your own evolution in music instead of like hearing what people are doing right now, because probably they're doing something different right now. They did already what they releasing right now. They did it a few months ago. So actually the audience are hearing like sort of like delay of what we are doing, because it's gonna kind of like taking time till we're releasing things. So I think it's just like, just create your own music, and whatever you feel is good for you, and whatever you think is going to be the evolution of music.
Yeah, that's the best way of thinking, for sure. And you definitely need to think a few steps ahead when you're producing, right? So you ended up being among the top streamed psytrance artists on Spotify at some point, with over 1 million monthly listeners. This number is actually pretty crazy. I know that you guys from Israel have this Spotify network really big. So it's not that strange, but still it is if you compare it to some other artists over there. So the most listened to track on Spotify is actually The Moments I'm Missing, you made with Ranji and the beautiful voice of Nina Nesbitt in 2019. Mm-hmm. And it has more than 44 million plays, only this track. Can you please explain how did this happen?
I wish that I could. Actually, it was a crazy journey, and actually show us that we think that we have like a great community on Spotify, but actually we need to do it in a more efficient way. Actually, me and Vini Vici, we're kind of like thinking on a plan to kind of like try to release more songs and maybe more live edits, things that we don't want to release on our page, but we still want it to be out, and we still want to grow our Spotify community as well. And now to explain Nina, actually we just did something that we thought that maybe in some places, if we're going to play this song, maybe people will throw tomatoes and shoes at us. Actually, we thought that we might not play it in Brazil ever, and we just released the song because we loved it so much, and we didn't even expect that it would be that big. It was amazing. Actually, we just like went from one playlist to another and went to TV shows and places that we couldn't even imagine that psytrance will go, and we're actually happy that it kind of like show other people and other audience opportunity to kind of like get closer to psytrance, and hopefully they will hear commercial psytrance and go deeper into psytrance, to other genres and into trance. And I think this is our job, to kind of like be the bridge, the fusion bridge between genres, to kind of like bring people more close to the style that we are doing, and bring them more close to any types of music as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think you're doing it in the best possible way, and we will talk about this later on. But why this specific track? You have plenty of impressive tracks, but this one is super amazing. Of course, I love it. But why do you think it happened with this exact track?
I think that in that moment, we kind of like thought the hell with it, and we loved it, and it was totally different. We didn't really step into psytrance kind of like structure that we are doing. It was very radio edit and very short, not too much psytrance, not too much psytrance sound, but we loved it like that. And it was totally different. And I think that's the thing, that it was really like a huge fusion between pop and psytrance, and in a like extreme way, not in the way that you used to do before. It was like, okay, we are just doing it and it's out. We're sorry.
Perfect. Just keep going, just keep doing it. You're doing an amazing job. All right. So you collaborated in different ways with many artists, such as Armin van Buuren, Nervo, Timmy Trumpet, Vini Vici, of course, Skazi, W&W, Infected Mushrooms, and so on and so on. The list is pretty long. So who left the biggest impression on you? Because we're talking about so many different artists, different music genres they're producing. And from who did you learn the most? Who helped you most in your career?
Actually, it's kind of amazing how everybody kind of like bringing a lot of information and good energy into things like Vini Vici. They not only helped me, but they helped the entire psytrance scene. I think that what they did opened a huge door for us to be in those places and kind of like be more free in creation. And let's say Infected, they were amazing teacher, in sound-wise, and the way that they work, it was amazing for me just to be with them in the studio, especially when I was a kid listening to their music. And let's say Armin is like the perfect example to how to manage things and how to be on top all the time and how to create a beautiful community and how to use the interaction to help people and kind of like get connected with frequency.
Completely. Yeah, getting something from every single person out there and use it for yourself, for your personal development. So this is really how you should do it and how everyone should do it, especially in this industry. All right. So speaking of Vini Vici, I know you're close friends, and if I remember well, 3 years ago, I think, Matano was the one who introduced you to Ruben Duran live in the State of Trance studio when there were guests over there, and you were actually having some guest set in one of those episodes. So do you think this was one of the game changer moments for you? Because I will explain. During the same year, you played at Tomorrowland Festival. I was there, by the way, at the psytrance stage, and this is the first time actually when I heard you playing. And 6 months later, actually, you played at the one and only State of Trance Festival in Utrecht, and soon after that in Mexico. So again, I was there. Actually, I think I ended up. I think I ended up in your video, Men on the Run, by the way. So, do you think this was? Yeah. I will show you. It was amazing. So, do you think actually this was a big change for you and your career?
I think the change started a bit before. I did the Men on the Run remix, I think, back in 2010, and in 2018. In 2018, I thought that I want to bring it back to life again and to play it again in more shows. And I kind of like called System Nipple, the guys that I did the song with, and I told them like, please come over and let's do another version. Let's make a new version because I really want to play this version again in Tomorrowland and in other places. And I gave this song to Vini Vici and they played it as well. And somewhere along the road, I think Armin or someone from the team in Armada heard the song, and they asked Vini Vici who made that song, and they point them at me, and then the relationship with Armada started from there.
From there, yeah.
And then since me and Vini Vici are close friends and we are flying together and do things together, then they decided just to bring me over to State of Trance because I think I had a show maybe a day later in Brazil, so I supposed to fly anyway. So they told me just come with us.
Perfect moment, I think, because that period of 8 years from the moment when you first made it, the remix, I think a lot of things changed. In a good way, of course, for you. So this was actually the perfect moment that you wanted to do this re-remix thing, let's call it that way. So amazing, really, I love it. I really love it. So you played at the biggest stages around the world, including Tomorrowland, of course, State of Trance, EDC, Las Vegas, Parookaville, Airbeat One, Electronic Family, now Transmission, of course. So I mentioned a few well-known, interesting events, but of course you played for huge psytrance ones. You play all the time over there. What do you think one artist needs to have to be chosen to play at big events?
What kind of artist?
Mm-hmm.
Well, there is so many things. Put in count, you have social media, of course, but in music-wise, I think the artists that really understand what is their path, what is their meaning with creation of music. If you really know that you are in the position of being on stage and kind of like change the frequency of the entire crowd, and you need to do a good job. You need to really understand that you're standing in front of those people, and you can give them a good experience, and you can give them the best show ever. And some people, I don't know who they are usually, like, but some people kind of like not really taking it in the right way and kind of like trying to get more fame, more money. And it's not something bad. It's kind of like just like drawing your focus away from what you're doing as well, because sometimes it's not in a bad way, but if you need to pay rent and you don't have any shows, and your path is kind of like going slowly because you believe in something, and you kind of like move away to the side just to get more money, probably you will not do that great job eventually if you will not find your way back into that path when you're creating beautiful music and trying to make people happy and lift their energy up. That's it. I think that we are all always kind of like moving from side to side, but if you're trying to stay balanced, because this kind of like DJ life is very tricky with there is so many things like management and festivals and so many politics sometimes in music, then if you're trying to stay balanced and try to stay true with what you're doing, then I think that you will get these big festivals, because the big festivals that truly believe in making a change as well, they're also trying to bring the artists that align with their energy. That was a long answer.
No, it's a perfect actually, and I think you're completely right. So you need to make changes all the time. You need to, follow what's happening in the industry if you want to improve yourself. Mm-hmm. So, and in order to be recognized, of course. All right. So I guess not so many people here in Europe know about psytrance festivals on the other continents. And I'm not sure anyone who doesn't listen to psytrance knows how big this genre is. And even I didn't know this until maybe, I don't know, a few months ago. I started doing some researches, and then I realized that psytrance is really, really big, especially on some other continents. And the crowd that listen to this kind of music is really passionate, And but I would like you to name a couple of those festivals that we didn't hear for, because we know for Boom, of course, in Portugal. We know for Sci-Fi in Netherlands, Ozora, for example, in Hungary. And but speaking of South America, for example, we're not pretty familiar with what's happening over there. So can you name some interesting in these kind of places? And in Israel also, of course.
Of course, in Israel we have huge, beautiful festivals like Do Festival that have his own team, and Unity and Bukcha, and so many beautiful festivals. And I think in Brazil we have Sci-Fly. It was an amazing festival. Mundo Psicodélico, Arvore de Vida. just to name a few beautiful festivals that always bringing, although they don't need to, they're always trying to bring the best sound systems and the best decorations. And they know that people will come anyway because they come for the music, but they're still doing everything to make everyone happy. It's amazing. And I think that people also feel that because you kind of like feel the energy when you're going to Brazil. You kind of like feel that everybody appreciate whatever the people are doing. They appreciate the music, they appreciate everything. And this, I think, what's beautiful. This is the gift that we are getting back, this kind of like unconditional love from the people that truly just love music and love the way that we give it, present it to them.
Perfect. I mean, this is, I think, the most important thing, that people go because of the music. This should be like the main reason going to parties and festivals. So, yeah, I think this can definitely be a definition of psytrance, for example. So, you are, where do you want to play? For example, if you haven't had the chance yet, and this is some big idea that you want to be there one day.
Actually, I kind of like have this dream, not to play in a festival. I think that I played in so many big festivals that it really like everything feels almost the same. When it's so big, it's just like when you're connected with the energy of the crowd, it almost always feels the same when you're playing in a club for 1,000 people. And when you're playing even in a small party for 200 people or a huge crowd, it's always the same energy, sometimes in huge scales, but it's always like the same emotion. So kind of like, I think that I'm trying to enjoy that and not to think too much far ahead. I'm sure that good stages and good parties will come up in the future, but my dream is really to bring the evolution of music and the way people see things and kind of like put everybody in one place. And this is my biggest goal, to open a record label. And actually I'm in the middle of doing that. And this record label will be like a sort of a community. And we will try to reach bigger goals, other than just being big in psytrance, and try to get more opportunities in the sync. Sync is I'm not sure how to explain that because it's kind of like a very new idea, but we're trying to bring psytrance everywhere, to Netflix, to TV shows, to MTV. And this is kind of like going to be the goal of this label in the underground. And still I'm going to release my music there, and I'm going to give opportunity to other artists to release music there. And we're going to work a lot on publishing and seeing opportunities and show artists that they're going to have a lot of money that is lying around that nobody uses. Most of the time we are just not collecting the money that we deserve. And most of the people just don't know that. So we just want to make a platform where everybody knows what they're doing, where their money is at, and we're going to help each other and see that there is no fighting between artists. We are all one, and we need to create the best music for the audience. And nobody is an enemy, and there is no really competition. We're just trying to be the best in ourselves, and that's it. And this is the plan. This is the dream. And
wow.
Hopefully we will have this interview in a few years, and we'll discuss.
Before that, come on. Few years is too much. This is really impressive. I mean, keep me updated. Definitely, this is so interesting, and I would really love to see this, becoming a real thing. So this is, I think, this would be a huge milestone for you and generally the people from psytrance industry. And yeah, you mentioned this, the relationship that you have with other artists in this industry and the fans as well. So this is what I like about you guys. You are supporting each other all the time. And this is really important, especially in this industry, but not everyone are doing this. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I feel sad about this when I find out that this is happening and it shouldn't. But you guys are doing an amazing job, just making it in a best possible way to grow and reflect and to be accepted by the whole world, not just psytrance fans. So amazing. No, seriously. So you're also a good friend of Blastoise, right?
Yeah.
So the last time he was the one who closed Transmission Festival in 2019, before the pandemic happened. And to be honest, as I said at the beginning, this was the biggest disappointment for me, to not hear you live at this fantastic festival. First time I heard you playing, as I said, at Tomorrowland 2018. Then I realized how big you are becoming. But Transmission is something else, and you realize this, of course. Well, it wasn't meant to be this time. So how was this Transmission experience for you, especially after so long not playing almost anywhere?
Wow, actually, it's kind of like I don't have any words to describe the feeling of playing after so long. It felt like my first show ever.
Wow.
I had another show 2 weeks before. It was the Indian Spirit in Germany. It was amazing, but it was a psytrance show, and it was easier for me to get ready for that. But to Transmission, it was a totally new experience for me, and I tried to bring also a new set and new music instead of like going the path that usually people know, especially because I did so many sets for Transmission online. I thought that it would be great that I will play new things that I didn't play earlier back then in the sets that I used to do online, also the set with Blastoise. And especially when Blastoise called me and said like, hey, I want to come with you. And I said, it would be amazing. And we thought about maybe bringing him also to the stage and also do a small back-to-back in the end, and just show people unity and show people that it's beautiful to create together and be together and do things together. I think that people also love that. I saw the reaction in the crowd. Everybody stayed until the last minute. It was amazing because I think that especially when, in festival, everybody want to go 10 minutes before just not to get stuck in traffic or whatever. And
I'm not that kind.
Because I introduced, hey, Blastoise is coming, and maybe we will stay for a little bit longer.
Awesome. Okay, stop talking. I'm gonna be becoming pretty sad. I'm joking. I'm glad you enjoyed it, and I really cannot imagine how you felt being on that stage in front of that big crowd. So yeah, good, amazing, and just I wish you to continue performing at big festivals, and for sure you will. So you mentioned this, and just want to continue. Those Transmission sets that you were doing, those online ones, let's call it that way. So one of those sets actually was a tribute to Thomas Coastline. He was a fantastic artist who unfortunately lost his battle against cancer this year. So I'm sure he's having some crazy party up there somewhere. Do you generally like doing those online sets, or do you get feedback from the people when you do one? Do you find it interesting actually, or do you miss real gigs?
Actually, those online sets is something that I don't really like to do because I need to rent equipment and I need to go online and kind of like film myself. And it's something that I don't really like to do, like to be in front of things. But I do like to share my music and share my sets. Actually, it's kind of like, it's pretty nice. I'm getting a lot of great responses. This is why I'm doing that thing anyway. But for sure, I would prefer to be on the stage and really connect with the people and not kind of like imagine them with me in the studio and trying to be positive and trying to be with that energy. It's kind of, it's very hard.
I know. Again, everything is around the connection. So what is your opinion about being a DJ? Do you think a DJ should be a showman also? Because my personal opinion, I will never understand those DJs without emotions and any interaction with the crowd. Do you think this is important that one DJ have?
First of all, yeah, I think that the emotions and getting connected with the crowd is the most important thing. For me in transmission, like I'm always preparing my sets, but I'm playing whatever I feel in the moment. And I'm not trying to go online with the same things that I aligned back at home, because it was a different energy and a different feeling. And it was in a different moment. So probably I won't feel the same in the party. So I'm just trying to put a few mixes that sounds good together. And I always go off the road. And I think this is the part exactly with emotions, that those emotions come into place and kind of like direct me. Like when everybody is going up, I'm not going to put a song that probably I wasn't that high back then when I was creating music. And when I was thinking of this set, probably I wasn't in the same frequency and the same vibe of the crowd. So I think emotions are very important for DJ. I think everybody have emotion, but maybe not everyone is very aligned and kind of like feel confidence in to changing things and change things on stage. But I think that you must have emotions to be in that position, into helping people and playing in places. So probably they just don't show it in a good way.
Most probably. But this is why we love you. So, okay, so during tough times, we are again returning to this topic. Music can be a great escape from all the problems and troubles we are all facing from time to time. Whether you're a DJ or a fan, music can transport you to a better place where bad things don't exist. Do you think the situation with COVID made everything a lot harder or even worse for some people?
Well, you're opening a Pandora box.
Kinda.
Some people can see the pandemic as a gift, and some people can see them as a curse. But every new thing that's happening in life, it's an opportunity. For me, the opportunity was to create more music and to be at home and have more time for myself and more time to plan this label and everything that I want to do, things that I couldn't even think of back then, where we were in the race of flying every weekend and coming home only for a few days, trying to create new music and flying back again, feeling exhausted all the time. You kind of like don't have time to do the things that you really want to do. So for me, it was a beautiful gift that I want to bring back already and start to play again. But yeah, I think this time really helped me and some other people that maybe were more rely on music and had to really change the way of doing things and maybe find other jobs and doing other things to kind of like stay above water. I think that they're really suffering at that moment, and I really hope that things will change and we will go back to connecting with people again and seeing people again and be there, not just creating in the studio and sending the music and releasing that, and also be there with those people that hearing our music and get connected with them. Things that we are really, really missing.
True. But did you find it hard to focus on production or you become even more productive? Because I think you were more productive.
Yeah. I'm more productive, but actually in these days where there is a very hard way to communicate with people and everything is online, things are really getting delayed. It's very hard to work online for me. I really try to sit down with people and create the music together instead of like throwing idea back and forth. I think that when you create something with someone and you're sitting sitting together and creating together, you're kind of like creating something new that it's kind of like reflect both styles. And when you make a collaboration with someone online and you're just saying things, it's like kind of like a fixed things that he's doing and fixed thing that I'm doing. And sometimes it's just doesn't feel right for me. Mm-hmm. So things kind of like get held up in this period of time. But I've been creating so many new music, like 20, maybe 30 songs that are still like in work process because of the pandemic, but I'm kind of like going to release them one by one. So I have enough time to work on each one separately. And that's it for now. I think that it really helped me go to the next step of creation in music and kind of like find my path that the music is not mine. And if I will not release it, I will not share it with the world, there is no meaning of me doing that and just putting it back in the drawer. So that realization kind of like brought me to talk with Vini Vici and kind of like think on the way how we can release all our live versions anytime soon. Try to release them even one by one, but try to release everything in a great platform. We are still working on that, but maybe that pandemic really helped that to come about, and become reality.
Wow, nice. Cannot wait to hear those new stuff. I
will not talk about the negative side, only positive.
No. We're not going to go there. No reason to do this, especially not in this show. Right. Okay, let's play a truth game. Yes, I will need you to, again, pick 3 numbers.
3 numbers?
Yeah, you see 7 over here.
Okay.
And you will need to pick 3, and I'm going to reveal the question behind those numbers, and I will need you to answer on those questions.
Perfect. 1, 3, and 7.
Oh, that was fast. Okay. Let's see. Aha. What is your biggest fail?
My biggest fail? Well, I can say an embarrassing moment, but I don't think that nothing is fail. We are only learning. A funny fail happened to me once. I had a show in Mexico, and I think it was a crazy weekend. I came from Brazil. I landed in Germany, and my flight got delayed. Mm-hmm. And I think I had to fly the next day and kind of like arrive maybe like 2 hours before my show. It was a color party in Monterrey in Mexico, an amazing show. And I just went there and it was paint everywhere and I just slipped on the stage, straight on the floor. And because my flight was delayed, just except of the embarrassing part of falling down in front of like 20,000 people. Also, they lost my luggage and I didn't have any clothes to change. So I had to go with clothes with paint everywhere for like 1.5 days until I got my luggage back. So this was pretty nice to go on the mall with paint all over my body, feeling disgusting.
Oh my God. Okay, I understand that. It's not cool at all. Okay, so you said 3. Aha, what is your hidden talent not everyone knows?
Oh, hidden talent. Actually, I love to do so many things. I do haircuts. My brother coming every month, driving over, it's like 1.5 hours just to get a haircut, and he's going back home. Also, when I was in the army, I used to do haircuts to all of my friends. Actually, I like to do so many things. I like to deal with electronics and with medical care and so many other things. But my focus is music, so you only hear about music right now.
Well, I'm hearing some other stuff right now, so it's cool. Okay, so seven says, aha. Would you rather share DJ booth with David Guetta or Salvatore Ganacci?
Well, actually, I share the stage with Salvatore Ganacci, and this guy is...
I don't know that.
Yeah, he played in Israel, and I was playing right after him. And actually, also we met back in Tomorrowland in 2018. And I was so surprised to see that this guy is so serious, not on stage. He's acting like a lawyer. And I kind of like, this guy was like doing handstand on stage yesterday. When I saw him on breakfast in the hotel in the next day. But wow, my dream is really to be on stage with David Guetta, because I think what he represents and the way he changed music is something that really I have no words how to describe the way like Vini Vici created realities into psytrance, and he created so many realities into music, and the things that we are seeing right now is mostly because of him. The way that he saw music and the way that he fought to bring music, and the way that he's staying up to date right now, and the way that he's releasing music and trying to be very social is something that I'm really trying to look up to. And I saw him a few times. I think we talked maybe a few times, but we never played on the same stage. Hopefully in the future.
Yeah, I heard he's a nice guy.
Yeah.
I never met him, but I heard some nice stories about him. Okay, so you are one of the rare artists that have no fear to make the remix of most popular tracks, no matter what genre. So, for example, you did a remix of Linkin Park track called Numb, and I don't want to even try to describe how big surprise this was for me, because you know, in my teenage years especially, I was a huge fan of this band, and even after, you know, a while, I continued listening to it, and it was really sad news when I heard about what happened to Chester, and I think everyone reacted the same. So besides that, you did a remix of Grease 2000, you know, a classic track by Three Drives on a Vinyl. To be honest, I'm usually not a fan of those legendary tracks being remixed, because often it ends up not that good. But to be honest, I like yours.
Thank you.
So how do you decide about going into this kind of project with a specific track? How do you choose a track?
Actually, let's say in Linkin Park, it's actually a funny story, because it was a complete track way before it was a remix, and I wanted to release this song, and Vini Vici were playing, and they really loved the drop, and they said like, can you maybe put a vocal on it? And I really loved still love Linkin Park, and I thought that Numb would be a great fit in that moment. And then this kind of like mashup when exploding everywhere. And then Vini Vici told me, man, you need to release it. It doesn't matter if it's not a remix or it's not done yet. So I had to really rethink everything and kind of like make this remix very fast and releasing it back then. But actually, if I would do, I'm kind of like thinking that I would really love to redo the remix and give it like more proper kind of like attention, because it was very fast the way that things were done. And I really, really love Linkin Park. And I think that maybe I could even do a newer version, a better one that kind of like represent the song more, instead of like sounding a bit like a mashup. And the same thing with Grease 2000, I kind of like didn't want to move the sound that much. I kind of like wanted to keep it in the same level, but just boost the energy a bit up. just to give it a bit more psytrance energy without changing things, and because it's already amazing. It's already an amazing melody, an amazing song, and I didn't want to change much, just to give my own energy into that song, and that's what I did. And maybe this is why you were loving it, because I didn't change it that much.
Yeah, exactly. That's the point. Keeping the original vibe over there and adding some mark of yours, for example. And not everyone does this. They change it completely, and but yeah, it is what it is. So
different anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so in psytrance world, who do you like working with the most? Whose state of mind is similar to yours? Maybe Vini Vici, I don't know, Blastoise, your good friends.
Yeah, exactly. You can see it in my playlists. The music that the people that I'm working with, they're actually the people that I really love working with. Like, as you said, Vini Vici, Omiki, Blastoise, Infected Mushroom, of course. Mm-hmm. There's so many good people that we just love spending time together, and we love creating things together. Not most of them really align with my music, but this is why we're trying to create new things. Also, I did a new song with Junam that we actually working on, I think, for 4 years already. So sometimes, yeah, things happen like that as well. We were creating a song, and I think after 1 year, I said that I don't like the song at all. We kind of like moved to one direction because of the vocal that really wasn't aligned with the song, and we decided to delete everything and start a new one. And we wrote lyrics and brought a singer, and we are still on the way of finishing things and releasing it soon. So, everyone is a journey, and these 4 years of me working with him, we didn't work every day for 4 years. We just meet from time to time and change the course of the song and move it to another direction until we got to the song that we have today. Mm-hmm. And this kind of like meeting with people and creating things, even if you are not finishing things, it's always a nice way and a nice lesson to kind of like move. We think that song is perfect, and then I just do a new melody, and we need to do a completely new thing, and the melody kind of like taking us to a new direction, a happier direction, and we need to change the entire structure of the song because it's happier. And things happen sometimes like that, and I'm actually happy that they're happening like that.
Cool. Awesome. Really. And I'm aware that you actually were the first artist who signed for Alteza, a label owned by Vini Vici. Correct me if I'm wrong. Mm-hmm. Someone lied me if it's not correct. I think it's correct. And I guess Vini Vici are pretty picky, so this is also a confirmation that you're doing an outstanding job as an artist.
Yeah, well, actually, we are like family. Me, Vini Vici, everybody that you're actually saying online, we are always trying. We are actually friends, more than co-workers. I think this is also the reason why I want to make a label which will bring this structure. We are all helping each other as friends, and we're all flying together, and we do amazing things, but there is no structure really to help each other and create this community. We are really, really connected, but there is still no a good structure that will help us to go beyond whatever we are doing right now. So this is in the process right now.
Okay, so we all agree that Tomorrowland is one unique place made to deliver an extraordinary experience to music and festival lovers. I also find psytrance festivals as unique places, as I said before, where music lovers feel connected without boundaries, differences, feeling free. So this is the point of going to festivals, right? But as an artist, what kind of venues do you like more and why?
Wow, I can say that I'm thankful for every show, because sometimes you can play in a small club and the energy is so crazy. Sometimes I played in Japan and they had like 400, 500 people and the place was packed and everybody went crazy, and it's something that I will never forget. And the the same thing with Tomorrowland. This experience is something that I will never forget. I think that also for you, as you said, like Tomorrowland is very different than Transmission. Every party is different, and like let's say in Germany, you will not hear people scream, but you will see them dance like crazy for 3 days, even if it's raining. The same thing in Australia, but in Australia they love to scream and they love to take the energy out by screaming. And the same thing in Brazil. In Brazil, they can dance for 3 days non-stop, and they're getting excited from every drop, although it's been 3 days of non-stop kick and bass through the head, you know. So, same thing in Israel. So it's just amazing, you know, and especially in these days, when you have a lot of time to think about those festivals that you're really waiting them to come on, and everything to start to come back. It's kind of like amazing just to remember how the energy in Brazil is different than the energy in, let's say, in Portugal, and just crazy how you want to be everywhere, not just in one festival. You want to really go back and just see everybody. The same, also the people in Asia.
Yeah, they're
everywhere.
crazy as well.
Especially we used to play a lot in Half Moon Festival back in Thailand. It was our second home. We
was there?
I think all the psytrance artists always went to Thailand, used to meet there and just like try to take 1 month off. Yeah. And we used to play there, and these people also from the festival, they are our family, you know, second family. Mm-hmm. We also have so many families in Brazil, families in Germany, families in Switzerland, so many friends that we are still can't meet yet. So hopefully very soon I can see that festivals are getting closed. Hopefully they will change, they will stay closed, not change, of course. Things will stay closed, and we will start flying everywhere and see our people again, our families.
We will.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm aware that I witnessed when psytrance entered Tomorrowland on a big door in 2018. Before, it was like I think like a boiler room, right? So in 2018, you got a real stage, you know, over there. So I think you are one of those persons that deserves respect. Speaking of this.
That's a question. If I
that's my opinion that I want you to give me feedback on.
Thank you so much. I thought there is a question coming.
Nah.
But yeah, thank you so much. I try to do my best and really be in the stage and try to respect the people and the people that bought the tickets and trying to get the experience, and trying to bring them into psytrance. I think that there is so many people that don't listen to psytrance and do listen to my music, and I can see that they are listening to mostly most of my friends, like the people that didn't listen to psytrance back then, listening to Blastoise and listening to other artists as well. So I think it's working, you know, what we are doing, it's working. And people are really finding themselves also in new genres, and it's amazing. This part that we have in this process of for them to experience new music and experiencing new energy and vibes, and I'm always thankful when I'm hearing a new style, and kind of like always giving the respect of to the artists that kind of like open me to that kind of like genres, you know. Like Skrillex, when I heard dubstep for the first time, and it was sick, you know. Although it was too crazy for me, and then I saw also Skrillex flipped to another genre straight away. So probably was too crazy for him as well.
I'm not a huge fan of his music, but yeah, he's a great artist and definitely talented one.
It was very crazy, but I could still appreciate the work process and what he did, you know, especially when he took it to, I think, JQ and other places, other music levels. So he maybe started in a very noisy place, but he kind of like find a way to make it a bit more commercial and more nice for other people to listen as well.
I'm absolutely right. When you see the crowd enjoying, what is the first emotion that goes through your body and mind?
Wow, actually, the feel is always when everybody's screaming and you're standing on stage, you kind of like feel this huge vibration that is not coming from speakers. I don't even know how to explain, but when you're in a room and you feel and you see people fighting, you kind of like feel the density in the air, in your body, and in a bad way. But when you're on stage and you feel this vibration of happiness running through your body when people are enjoying, it's something that I can't really describe. I think the people that are in the dance floor can describe that maybe. But wow, it's an amazing feeling, and it's really kind of like if you're really connected to the people and kind of like feel it, they're enjoying, you're enjoying through them and they're enjoying through you. So you're actually doing a good job. If you're kind of like feeling that you lost the connection, you probably wasn't that aligned. Sometimes, even for me, it's happened that I played songs that I thought they were good, and maybe I tried to stick with the playlist that I got before, and you just feel like that sometimes people it's not like they're not enjoying, but they're kind of like stopping in the middle of the dance and maybe hearing the song and the rhythm of the dancing is gone. And you need maybe one or two songs to kind of like bring people to back in the rhythm again, especially when they're drinking and you kind of like want to stop and you kind of like need a break to drink. And I will not give people the opportunity to go and drink before you're coming to my set.
Oh, that's proper thinking, right?
Yeah.
Good. Okay. Okay, we all know what we miss during the pandemic. But is there anything that you don't miss? Being on tour, playing at festivals, events, with people, traveling.
Well, I won't miss the anxiety and the constant flying and the way that I used to sleep. I used to wake up maybe 6 p.m. and going to sleep, I don't know when. Like I never went to sleep and woke up in the same time. So this thing I won't miss, and I think that it won't come even because I will be more strict in my schedule and in my sleeping and in my healthcare. So the things that I won't miss, they won't come, hopefully.
Speaking of healthcare, I heard that you like meditation and yoga. Am I right? And I'm not going to reveal how I found out for this. So do you practice it every day?
Yeah, actually, I'm doing meditation, I think, for 1 hour and a half every day almost, sometimes more, sometimes not even 1 minute. But I'm trying to raise my frequency all the time, even when I'm not doing meditation. You won't see me sitting like this, of course. I'm just being quiet and listening to myself and trying to know myself better. And it's actually pretty amazing. I kind of like I really got in touch into knowing my purpose and how to listen to the music in my head and not to judge things and trying to do things in a better way. And I think that meditation really helped to go into that process and showed me as well how to kind of like try to guide people in the same way without pushing anyone, just like be an opportunity for other people that will seek for that place as well, where we can create music together, when we can do things together as one, as unity, and represent each other in the best way that we can, with music, with friendship, and hopefully we will make even events together. And hopefully we were talking maybe on opening an academy and releasing sound samples and maybe also releasing two VST that I'm really passionate on doing, things that are really missing in my workflow in music. So I really want to build this structure and to release these things and share it with everybody, and trying to have this community when people will have problems, they can share it also, and they will have other people also to answer, not only me, but other people, not even in my crew, but other people from the community. I really want to grow something that will be beyond Spotify or Instagram or whatever, any social platform, but still be connected with every platform, but still we will have our own thing where everybody can ask things about music creation or whatever, and we will get the help that he needed. Even if it's not aligned with the label, still there will be plenty people to help him to find his own way, and maybe find a label that will suit his purpose in music, or maybe find other opportunities for him as well. So this will come in the near future with another good friend of mine that his name is Or, used to do social things in Israel and used to run the community of ravers of Israel together with a good friend of mine, Shachar. They did a pretty amazing job of like keeping everybody together in the beautiful community, and I think I have a lot to learn from him to how to manage these things, and I'm really excited to go forward with this plan.
Wow. You are throwing bombs over here right now with your plans.
I've been for a year and a half, so I have a lot
really
of things
hard.
to say, actually.
Indeed, it's really hard to catch everything, to remember what you are planning to do, but amazing. I'll just keep going. Okay, but when I meet you somewhere, I will definitely ask you to teach me some meditation skills because I find it hard to focus. Especially on doing things like that, and I am too energetic, and actually my energy is crazy and going in a lot of different places at the same time, so I really need this. But it's not that easy. I know it's not that easy, especially if you're this kind of person, but you will teach me.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah,
I can give you an advice. I think for everyone, a short advice. It's just when you are breathing, you can't think. If you try to do meditation, I think maybe for a few times, you realize that sometimes it's getting hard to breathe. You need to focus on your breathing, because you feel like if you will stop breathing, you will kind of like lose your breath. And this is exactly what's happening. When you are thinking, you are going to a place where the thought is at, and you are not staying in your body. This is why there is like this kind of like this communication for a second when you're trying to breathe back again. So if you will focus on your breathing, it's already a meditation. So try to do that at least for 1 minute, and then 2 minutes, and then 20 minutes, and then breathe every day.
Yes, I know this is the most important thing. And when I'm stressed and when I'm angry or anxious, whatever, I try to breathe, but I don't remember every time to do that. But I know it's really a good way, to relax. I will try to be better in this for sure. Okay, so another inside info. I heard you and your parents own a Thai restaurant. How come you decided to open a Thailand restaurant in Israel?
Actually, my parents opened the restaurant. I think it was in 2095. Yeah, 2095. Oh, it's been that long. Crazy. And actually, I think when I finished the army, I think it was 2008. Then they really needed my help back in the restaurant because they had a lot of things to deal with. So I went inside the restaurant, I think, for 4 years. Into helping in and out until I think that there was a point from 2013 until 2017 in which I couldn't even do shows anymore. I think it was a break for 4 years. After I released my Doubt album in 2013, I kind of like stopped making music, and I went fully into the restaurant because my parents needed help. And I think it also helped me kind of like manage things. And also I became a sushi master, not really a sushi master and not sushi chef, because these people really learned for many years, but I can cook everything. Actually, this stop in my career, these 4 years, kind of like gave me the motivation in 2017 to push so hard and to get to Tomorrowland in 2018. I think this stop kind of like helped me realize how important music is for me. And then when I just gave everything into music, I think this really what helped me to move forward. And I think maybe also along the way, I kind of like forgot how important it is. And then the pandemic kind of like showed me again how important it is. So hopefully we will not need any bad things to remember how good we are anymore. And now we need to do things in the best way and not to get lost in our path with overthinking. This is also a part of meditation that really helps.
Again, speaking of meditation, do you do a session before the show, for example? And do you have a stage fright, or it depends on the show?
I think that I won't lie that I think that everybody have a stage fright in some point, you know. Sometimes it's so exciting to go on stage and perform to people, especially when they are so excited and you're getting so excited with them without even playing yet. And I think this anxiety is kind of like just go away the moment that you first play, and you just need to do your job and be in the moment, and then like everything just disappears and you're into the music and everything. I think like 5 minutes before the set, you're kind of like seeing every scenario that might happen before you're pressing play. So I think this is like very stressing moment. But I think actually after the pandemic and after the meditation, it kind of like felt I was much more in ease. So hopefully without doing any session, because you asked it as well, and without doing anything, I just came with amazing friends. Like Blessed Toys was with me in the backstage, and Junam, and a good friend of mine, Roy, and another good friend from Turkey that is living in Prague. And it was just amazing to be with friends, and everybody was having a good time. And it just felt like I'm just continuing on stage, having a good time. So it was pretty great.
But what was actually the first thing you did at Transmission Festival? You know, did you, I don't know, shout, or did you scream or jump like crazy? Or drinking?
To the festival, or when I played?
when you touched the DJ booth for the first time this year.
Actually, I was laying down doing a video of me filming how big is the stage from my point of view. And I was talking with the sound guy, and he was like, not yet. Wait. I'm like, okay. I was just waiting there, waiting to press play, because, you know, they have such an amazing production, and the way that they do things and everything is so timed out, and they're really bringing you an experience. I think that people there, they are confused in dancing or just watching the amazing light show and music and sound system and everything. You know, you don't know what to do if you want to dance, or if you will dance, you might miss some beautiful laser.
So exactly.
It's crazy.
It is about the whole experience being over there. You know? The same goes with, you know, if you want to take a picture, for example, or video and not dancing, it's a big struggle, you know, what to choose, what to do. Yeah, definitely. People who never went to Transmission Festival, even if they're not trance music lovers, they should visit this amazing place, because it is something else. It's literally something else. Okay, so what are your plans for the near future? Speaking of the production, you mentioned a lot of things that you are planning to do in a longer period in the future. But for right now, what do you want to do Is there any release that we can expect, for example, or any event that is announced to happen, hopefully?
A great event that was announced already is Dream State, that I'm really looking forward to playing there. And also to travel to Los Angeles again and meet my friends there, of course. And in the music wise, I do have a very beautiful release that I'm doing with Oren Dego and a band called Unaka, a British band, that we really love their song. In the first time that I heard this song, I was blown away. And I think I remixed it in the same day, and I sent it to them without them knowing me and knowing what psytrance is, I guess. And I sent them the version, and they went crazy as well. And until now, we kind of like thought how to finish the song and when to release it. So I think the release date will be, I think, probably October 14th. And from then, I'm really planning to release a song at least every month or two. So, and everything will be in the great structure, and hopefully we will start the path of releasing music under my label and also releasing music in Alteza, and hopefully Vini Vici will release music in my label as well. So, and we're going to create this community of every label helping each other, and every artist going to help each other, especially with Blastoise, that he also opened a very amazing label called We Love Rave. And we're going to push each other and kind of like help each other, because we're all going to different direction. And I think that songs that will not fit me probably will fit Blastoise or Vini Vici as well. So, or any other label of that kind. We have many amazing, beautiful psytrance labels that we can share with and work with, like Nutec, Bluetoons, or Spin Twist. And I think that we all need to work together, and kind of like everybody will focus on their own genre and create a network that will rise together.
Fingers crossed for this to happen pretty soon, to come to life. Okay, it was fun getting into some different music genres. I enjoyed this conversation with you, Itay. Thank you. It was nice and quite interesting journey into the music industry. I hope you felt the same.
Yeah, thank you so much for everything. Actually, you didn't give me any question before, so everything was like on spot. So hopefully I wasn't that confused, because there is so many things to share. But
no, this was good, actually. This is the idea. I mean, when you're prepared, then there are no surprises,
Yeah, of course.
And it's always, better to look more natural this way. So this is how I prefer this to happen.
Exactly.
Okay.
I just didn't realize that I have so many things to share. Just when you ask things, kind of like, whoa.
Yeah.
The long answer or the short one?
I never limit my guests, to share whatever they want to share if they feel, they want to do it. So thank you, Itay, once again. And I hope to see you soon somewhere and have fun dancing at your gig. I wish you all the best with your career, first of all. And this is my wishes for you and your future.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Nina, so much for this show. And thank you so much for doing this, for getting people to know artists and the way that they do things. For me, releasing music and showing what I'm doing, without the people that would listen to the music, I would never be wherever I am. So, like it should be like a thing that, how do you say it? Just a simple way, harmony between people. So without that, like WHITENO1SE would never be exist without the audience, or without the people that love this music. So thank you for connecting me with my audience.
It was my pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, music lovers out there, please tell me if you like this episode. Any feedback is welcome. Feel free to write me on Instagram, Facebook, or contact me via email. And please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Click on the like button below this video, leave a comment, and share it with the world. This is really important to me. And remember, we are all connected by frequency. Until next time, take care and have fun. Bye-bye.